And we're back for game number 2 of our second and final best of 3 of the evening. Could potentially be our final game of the evening if Mousesports can't not score and force a game 3. They're still looking for their first win here in D2L Western Play. VP, though, with a win here could put themselves in pretty decent standing, all things considered. They're sitting at 1-2 right now, and if they're able to beat Mouse, they'll sit at 2-2 with 3 more matches left to play. Give themselves a chance to hit that elusive 4 or 5 win mark, and really. Having 4 or 5 wins, that's pretty much what it takes. That's the magic number to make it into our playoffs in either division. Clockwork and Marana going to be to pick the initial pickups from Mousesports with the Darkseer and Lifestealer once again snagged up by Virtus Pro to break down the draft and lend his insight and analysis. Welcome in once again, Ben Merlini Wu. And Ben, VP, I like the mindset. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. Blow Your Brains LS was so far ahead. He was at like 26, 25 minutes and had an Abyssal, Phase, Drums, Midas. He was Armlet. He was kind of large. He was huge.
Yeah, it's not only that, it's that like Light of Heaven seems to be playing very well in the Darkseer. He seems very comfortable. He knows when to fight and when not to, and he uses his spells appropriately. And we've seen Light of Heaven struggle very much so on some of the carries that he's played. I watched his anti-mage the other day. That was sketch.
Sketch, yeah. I think Sketch is probably being. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Light of Heaven's a phenomenal player. His mechanics are fine. I mean, that's not the problem. It's not like, in terms of pure out-and-out skill, he's somehow a tier lower. It's just he doesn't play carry. That's not what he's supposed to do. It's not what he's done.
He loves farming, though, is the thing. It's strange. He likes farming, but he can't play carry. It's like, that's not the best combination.
Yeah, it's just the instincts. I mean, you saw the success he had with Na'Vi, so, I mean, there's no doubt that he is world-class tier at what he does. It's just a matter of having the instincts, having the experience, and how many times have we talked about that today? And all throughout the D2L, really. I mean, talking about the reformed teams here in the West. And so names like Mojo Stormstout, guys like that. Koikfa, another good example. Koikfa had a great day today, actually. But, young guys like that. And Light of Heaven, certainly not a stranger to Dota and certainly a veteran in his own right. But sliding into a lead, a position like that with a team that's already lacking a little cohesion, that's oftentimes going to be a bit of an inconvenience, and much better with him on the off lane where he's comfortable and Blow Your Brain, resuming at least temporarily the carry role for Virtus Pro. Though it really wouldn't surprise me at this point to see Blow Your Brain be picked up full time. So Mousesports going to try to hard counter the Lifestealer now. But to tell you the truth, I mean, the Bane pickup, that's nice. It certainly synergizes well with Marana being able to Nightmare into an arrow. But that wasn't really the problem they had with Lifestealer in Game 1. It wasn't that they didn't have the hero picks or the spells to deal with him. It was they just didn't move enough. They just weren't able to put any pressure on him, and he farmed like crazy.
Oh, they banned out the Disruptor. I think it would have worked pretty well in this lineup, too. So Mouse doing their homework. They actually banned out Shadow Fiend. G played a fantastic Shadow Fiend in the last game versus Fnatic, so they were clearly, they've been clearly studying up a little bit on VP. But VP, they want to run aggression, but they don't have this Crystal Maiden. Somewhat surprised at that, but Vengeful Spirit, very good at that. Very good at getting Lifestealer out of pickles in case he gets gripped. Or Hookshot even. So Vengeful Spirit, pretty solid pickup from VP. No Bat Rider either, but it should definitely dissuade that pick.
Yeah, and the Bat really at this point only favored by a handful of teams, and it's mostly EG that we're seeing give absolute priority to it. I mean, we saw S4 back on the Bat in one of Alliance's games. So for the most part, I mean, they're the only team that really goes, oh, the Bat's available, let's make sure we get him in the second phase. So, I mean, maybe it'll be picked up on either side, but for Mouse right now, I feel like they need some mid-game punch. Pug not banned out this time, so not going to have access to that. But they need something that is going
to AoE.
Yeah, exactly.
Fight.
Something, because they've got 3 excellent single-target heroes in the Clockwork, the Marana, and the Bane, and 3 heroes that actually work really well together. I mean, you can even hit pretty reliable Sacred Arrows off of Clockwork's cogs. But yeah, where's the beef? I mean,
I think they need like a Shadow Shaman pick would just be really useful for them right now. Just being able to apply pressure a lot early. It'll be able to disable Lifestealer if he gets a blink, or even if he doesn't. Like they should be able to protect the Shadow Shaman pretty effectively, and that long disable is just so useful. And they don't really have the firepower to deal with that early of a push. I mean, we saw VP deal with the push last game, but it was just like very slow and a not concerted effort by Mousesports. With that, they can just group up very effectively. If someone gets hookshot too, that's like a very guaranteed start of a fight, and the ward is very good for static fights like that. Doombringer's pretty good pick too. Very good versus Darkseer, very good versus Lifestealer too.
Virtus Pro still looking for a mid. Timbersaw is available. I actually would very much like a Timbersaw pick for Virtus Pro here, being able to vacuum into the Chakram. His ability to get out. Nope, there's the Shadow Shaman. Will be picked up by VP.
Stole it.
Yep. I mean, look at the amount of lockdown they're going to have just between those heroes. Shackles and Hex from Shadow Shaman, Vengeful with one of the more effective early game nuke/stuns and magic missile, especially from a roaming position. And this is going to be one of those lineups that we talk about all the time. It's one thing to be good at ganking. It's another thing to be good at securing picks, but also being able to turn those picks into early towers, to turn those picks into early Roshans. Shadow Shaman just brings that to any lineup he's a part of. Vengeful Spirit with her aura going to scale extremely well with the Lifestealer, allow them to take an earlier Roshan with the armor reduction. So Virtus Pro, I mean, all around, I really like their draft. Mousesports, again, a predominantly single target hero. I mean, you pick Doom because you want Doom, and that can be very effective against the Lifestealer. But it's the AOE potential out of Virtus Pro is just going to run them over if they are ever out of position or ever taking a fight in a situation that they can't control with a Clockwork Hook or with Mirana's ulti.
Mousesports' anti-push is also terrible. If VP wants to go with something like, let's say, a Chen last pick, like Mousesports is just boned, right? Lifestealer, Venge, and Chen in a lane, Shadow Shaman mid and Darkseer off. Like their anti-push is just terrible. They don't have enough AoE. They have really good single target, really good gank though. But if VP starts grouping up, especially with an early mech, and the ward is dropped on the tower, they can't really do anything about it.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great point. Shadow Shaman, we've seen the return of him mid a couple of times at 6.7 on. He benefits so heavily from early levels. And he can actually walk away from a mid with a pretty fair amount of gold. We can actually see Mousesports has banned out the Storm Spirit, so fearing the range and the reach instead. And still waiting to see what they're going to show us. Windrunner, okay, that gives them a little bit of anti-push with Power Shot, and she's going to be able to, I don't know. I mean, it's
good at kiting Lifestealer, but it's not that like team fight oomph that they need. Like
right.
Shackle is very unreliable. They just need something, not like an RP, but like a Tidehunter or something like that would still be pretty good. Tidehunter, not very good versus Lifestealer, but just a big combo breaker or just a big team fight initiator too, or even just a tank to like absorb a lot of damage, like an Alchemist, for example. Alchemist, I think, would work well in their lineup.
I still would have really liked the Timbersaw pick there, I think. I think Timber gives you all of that. It gives you a survivability anchor type of hero who can get active early, who can anti-push. I mean, Chakram is excellent anti-push. And, I really want to see Virtus Pro take a page from your playbook, though. I think a Chin pick here would be brilliant and would create a whole new set of issues.
I don't know if they have any Chin players, though. Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah, DK, that's fine, too. That's another heavy pusher. That'll be their mid, probably played by God, and, waiting to see. Yep, that will be God. Yeah, this is basically Mousesports can't miss a beat, man. And that Clockwork is going to be the most essential hero in their entire lineup, make no mistake. Synderen is going to have to really do well in mid. He's going to have to get active. They can't allow Virtus Pro to group as 5. Like, literally, that's what they're up against.
Actually, no, they just swapped.
Yep. So, I mean, letting Virtus Pro group as 5, especially once DK gets up, set of treads at a BKB, or even just a set of treads, he'll feel pretty confident to begin grouping up. Once Shadow Shaman hits 6, once Vengeful hits 6 for swap, once Darkseer gets a mech up in particular. I mean, once all those things come out, and those are going to come out very, very quickly, Mouse is just going to be in a lot of trouble if they don't continue to control the map with isolation gangs.
Yep.
Ace moving to the south, looks like Virtus Pro wanting to protect the jungle. Don't know that, we're not even going to see them cross the river. So while they disperse to their relative lanes, how about we talk about who's handling who? Going to have NS on Vengeful Spirit this time. Second game in a row. Light of Heaven playing on the Darkseer. Very comfortable hero for him. God will be taking our Dragon Knight into middle lane with Blow Your Brain. Back on the Lifestealer, and why wouldn't he be? Again, utterly amazing farm in a game that's ended sub 30 minutes. And Shadow Shaman going to be played by AA. Other side of the river, we got Crit handling our Doom with the Clockwork Goblin. Going to be played by Ace Windrunner. That last pick going to be Synderen's hero. Looks like he wants to take the Windrunner mid. Bane will be played by Rise, and Mirana going to be played by Unicorn.
Yeah, looking at how this early laning phase is going to break down. Ace has the potential to get zoned out if he's caught out of position. I haven't actually watched Ace too much, so I don't know if he is as good as an offlane player as some of the other people in D2L, so I'll be keeping an eye out on him. He looks like he's already used one cog to keep his creeps back, so at least he's somewhat experienced in that manner. But they know that, I think they know that there's NS is in the middle, and Synderen is going to have a really rough time, especially if AA is able to get a shackle off on him, which looks like he's setting up.
Yep.
And NS just attacked the tower. Like, what in the world?
Oh, got a little too close. Auto attack range. Got to turn off auto attack, man. Got to be spamming the.
We're not walking the tower range.
Yeah, I guess that would help too, huh? But anyway, missed opportunity there. AA has yet to abandon it, though. He's continuing to hang around. He's got a smoke. Not that he even needs it. Down at bottom. There's the magic missile stun. Blows there. Does not have his first point in open wounds. Took Feast instead. So Ace will have some regen burn, but will make it away. Still intact.
And Bottle already coming out for G, so he's doing well in terms of CS. Darkseer forced to move away from the jungle. They have the ward over there. Rise is zoning him out pretty effectively, and he can't really survive a sleep and nightmare, or sleep into an arrow. But it looks like Crit will be getting a lot of farm in the process. He's actually only level 2, so he's a little bit under farmed too, having to force the Bottle up all the way. AA.
And here in mid, we're going to have the shackles go off on Synderen, followed up with the Dragon Tail. They're going to sell out for it. And nice Nightmare, but first blood nonetheless goes to AA. Can they make it a 1 for 1 rather? Not going to be the case. God's Nightmare wears off, and a clean kill.
He just straight up walked up to him and did it. Like, he didn't even use a smoke, and Synderen had a ward up here.
Yeah.
Like, that cannot happen.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. I wasn't really watching that mid lane a lot because you see that ward, you assume Synderen's going to be just fine. And he's on a Windrunner, too. That's the bizarre thing. I mean, he's got a point in a Windrun. Like, I really don't understand. Nonetheless, First Blood and Virtus Pro off to a great start.
Synderen might die again here, but Shadow Shaman very low. He should have tangoed up before he got it. He can get just caught by a straight power shot or something like that, or right click once plus power shot. But, oh, no, they're going for it again.
And he's going to have Hex in case they need it. Easy rares, easy life. Breathe fire gives the kill to Dragon Knight. That's twice now Synderen has bit the dust in mid, and all the more pressure now going to be on Ace. He's the only solo lane on the map for Mouse that is really getting much of anything. He's just about level 4, so he's actually doing a very effective job of soaking experience.
I think Synderen should probably go back to the support role. It just doesn't seem like mid is his role, and he seems to be a very good captain to his team too, and telling people like where to go and what to do. And it's just very difficult to do that as a mid player because you always have things you're concentrating on. You always have to like worry about CS. You always have to worry about harassing. You have to worry about smoke ganks. You have to worry about rune control. You have to worry about TPing the gank too. There's just so many things on a mid player's mind as opposed to support. Oftentimes you're like waiting to stack or waiting for someone to gank, and you just have a much better game sense of the game. And I think Synderen is very good in that aspect, but in the very micro intensive and positioning intensive position of mid, it's just doesn't seem to be something that he excels at.
Yeah, I think you've really hit the nail on the head, and it's one of those, you can't tell which feeds the other, but I mean, when you see goofy deaths like that, you can't help but wonder, is he distracted trying to talk to his team, trying to communicate things, even at the early laning phase, talking about movement he might expect, trying to help his team just figure out how they want to get through this laning phase. I mean, yes, he's going to be able to CS mechanically, but that's tough to do against a pro team that wants your head on a pike. And they managed to get it on that pike twice now. Just 4 minutes in as night comes. Let's take a look at where the gold sits. Even though Synderen did die twice, not the end of the world, only 400 gold behind, but he's not going to have the effect and influence he wants out of this mid position. And here shortly, Virtus Pro is going to begin to move around. AA at level 3.5, still short of level 6. That'll buy them a little bit of time. Level 3 for Vengeful Spirit as well. Ace is level 4.5, so again, continuing up the totem pole quite effectively in terms of levels. Now, I'm watching the lifestealer. What's he got on the courier? Yep, that's a Midas. Blow going to go Midas for the second game in a row.
We see the supports on Mouse very farm. The Rides is at level 4 and Crit is almost level 5, and they're doing very well in terms of experience. And Venge is suffering a little bit, only level 3, as well as Shadow Shaman. So Mouse is getting a little bit further ahead in terms of the experience graph. Actually, a lot ahead, over 1,000 in that aspect. Glyph already popped for Mouse, and they are putting a lot of pressure top, but Light of Heaven has rotated out of the jungle and will be here to defend this push.
Dragon Knight in mid. Has his wand up, his brown boots, and has his bottle as well, as we can see it being crowed right now. And situation like this, you figure treads will be just fine. Whenever they want to decide to push now that he's 6, being able to pick off Synderen, obviously not as hard as Mouse would like, especially now that NS is going to be joining with AA for this effort. They're going to be able to push pretty damn hard if they do manage to kill him off again. And that could be the beginning of the breakdown of the laning phase, which really isn't something I think Mouse particularly wants, at least not yet.
Yeah, Windrunner should be a very survivable hero in mid, but oh, there's a smoke. They're looking for blood.
Yep.
They actually, this ward is still up for a minute, so Cinder might still feel safe. Oh no, they're going for the Doom.
Yep, going after Crit, knowing he's been unaccounted for a while. Looking for an urn, only has brown boots.
Cinderin. Oh, Cinderin.
There's the magic missile. Crit gonna dodge the bullet for a bit, but now with the Elder Dragon form pop, they're gonna push with Light of Heaven.
At least he bought right before.
Yep, Light of Heaven, sitting on 900 gold as well. Look how quick this tower is going to melt. I mean, it's just with the Venge, with 1 point in the Vengeance Armor aura, that helps a little bit. But it's all about this damage over time. They glyph as the tower gets to about half health. Blow Your Brains, zoning out Ace down at bottom AA spots in Invis Rune. And we are going to see some TPs coming in. Crit in no real shape to fight. Cinder makes his way back up.
Defend this. Oh, they actually might get picked up. AA coming from behind.
Oh, there's the shackles again. TP's coming in. Magic missile onto Cinderin. And do they have detection? The damage over time not going to be enough.
G could have cast Breathe Fire there and would have killed him, but
yeah, they get the tower. I think they're going to be quite happy with that at this point. Cinderin, not even that high value of a kill. 3-0. Still hanging the goose egg on the Mouse, and first tower down, and the gold. Yep, about what you would expect after that, getting up to its biggest lead of the game, close to 2,000 in favor of Virtus.pro.
I think Chris should have just gotten level 6. He wasted a lot of time. You don't really want to rotate when you can't actually do anything. Like if he gets caught by a stray stun, he's gonna die. He only had 300 HP at that point. They really need him to start doing people. They need Clockwork to start hooking people. Both of those heroes very, very close to level 6. But if Mouse wants to get back in this game, they can't play passively, sit back and farm, because Blow Your Brain with your Midas is just gonna farm and get out of control like last game.
And God just gonna wander up for the casual Breathe Fire. Just seriously, he just walked up to him, just Breathe Fire and killed him. And Cinderin will be caught with the Dragon Tail. It's only level 1 win run. He's caught again. There's the Shackles. Breathe Fire is up, and win run in 7 seconds. Shackle will not latch, but still able to make it away. But Cinderin just continuing to struggle so mightily here out of this middle lane. I mean, you take a look at the CS. He's a 26 CS to the 28 of the Dragon Knight, which isn't too shabby. But Blow Your Brain, once again, is just farming up like crazy. 500 gold, Phase and Midas already done on top of him.
See, the NS and Rasta are still level 4, though. They need to get level 6 ASAP, too, just so they can continue the pressure and continue sieging towers. Rise will, in fact, deny a rune on top. And we see the first Doom of the game.
Doom out. On to Blow Your Brain. This is a very nice kill for them to grab. And granted, they are still trailing. That's, being able to hold Blow Your Brain down and punish him for going with that early Midas pick. That's going to be absolutely essential with this lineup. Again, a very single target oriented lineup against a team that is much more AoE centric. They need to make sure that they are constantly moving and getting
Surge
single target picks like that.
For a kill, but those two heroes are in a very good position to stop. But they creep pulled, and now their tower is going to get under siege, and they're going to keep losing towers. This is even before the Mass Serpent Ward is coming out.
Yep. 2 tier 1s down before Rasta even hits 6 is problematic for obvious reasons. And at bottom, they're showing their face like they want to make something happen. Crit with Doom off cooldown in 50 seconds. Down goes that top tier 1 again. And, I mean, let's put you in Mouse's shoes here, Merlini. I mean, you see everything kind of collapsing around them right now. What's the plan? I mean, we talked during the draft about how essential it was going to be that they get single target picks and basically try to carve up Virtus.pro's game plan that way, because that's what their team excels at. That's not working out right now. What adaptation do you make?
It's not terribly difficult for them to just defend pushes. They need Windrunner there to defend pushes instead of farming up mid. And looks like Rise will get caught out. Oh, no, they actually won't find him. Oh, they will find him. Okay, well, Rise is certainly dead. So what they need to do is get Cinderin to defend pushes, because they picked him last as an anti-push, and he's not anti-pushing anything. He's in fact pushing. So he needs to be at the push just to stop this and stop the pressure from the 4 heroes constantly. And then everyone else should be either farming or killing Blow Your Brain if he's farming like this. They have Moonlight Shadow, they have Fiend's Grip, they have Doom, they have Clockwork with Cog. They should be able to kill him multiple times. Crit already with his Doom. Blow Your Brain's going to die again.
There's the Doom. Cogs are down. And Blow eating a lot of damage with the Brain Sap just to help out. So if anything else, they're taking Blow Your Brain off the map. The big problem seems to be they're just not doing anything else elsewhere on the map, with already 2 towers down. And Rasta's going to be 6 soon. I mean, he's level 5 right now. They need to take a tower, need to maintain some semblance of map control.
Yeah, and VP just really needs 6. They also need to protect Blow Your Brain better. Blow Your Brain is just kind of farming, AFK farming in the last game, not really adapting to how the opponent is playing. I think that if he just goes with them or just waits for his supports to come and just farms the jungle in the meantime so they can't find him as easily, then that would go a long way to securing VP's early lead.
Coming out of the trees, NS and AA looking for a target. They're going to find one in Ace. AA's there, has Shackles. Mirana there with Bane, though. Big reaction. They're going to dust it out. Blow Your Brain going to be caught with the Fiend's Grip and the arrow on NS. Nice win for Mouse, and just like that, they're back on board. AA going to have to fall back. In the meantime, we see a top Light of Heaven trying to push, and God finding his farm here in mid. He's going to have his Shadow Blade up in just a few hundred gold. AA being pursued out by Syndra under cover of an Invis, and not going to be able to catch him. But finally, a big win for
they
Mouse.
Catch a break. Blow Your Brain is just not playing passively enough. It's not the same game as last game, and they have a lot of counters for his rage, so he has to play more careful. At the same time, his team should just get 6 before they start fighting. Like, Rasta just walked up to them, but it's like, oh, wait, I don't have Serpent Wings, I can't do anything. Vengeful was like staring at Clockwork, he's like, wait, I can't swap him at level 6 yet, so they just need to get level 6 before they can pick fights like that.
They've got a glyph up, so the potential to defend this bottom tower is there. It doesn't look like they're going to care to, though.
I think they should. They have a mech up on Light of Heaven.
Yeah, the rotation's just slow in coming. They're going to glyph it. And, yep, they're actually going to be using the Dragon Knight as a Blow Your Brain carrier. And they're going to get a free deny here. As it looks like, they're going to pull all the way back, so just not even really trying to even push the issue down here. In the meantime, we saw Light of Heaven did get some damage done to the tower at top, Split pushing it out. Speaking of, his mech is done. So up the team fight potential for Virtus Pro is certainly almost there. As you mentioned, level 6 is so essential. Rasta halfway there, and Venge will be there basically right now as we see the push beginning to mount.
Oh, there's a Moonlight Shadow. They don't have any sentries. This is big trouble for them.
Here we go. There's a Shackle. Nice Shackle. Let off on Blow Your Brain. AA locked down. Blow not going to be able to rage. Yep, he actually is. He used Infest previously, though, so it's on cooldown. A 2 for nil exchange. NS will be able to make it away just barely. And Light of Heaven in the meantime, though, Split pushing top will force another reaction. So Mouse
be there with his team, too. He's a mech bear. They can't push without him.
Yeah, I'm a little curious why they even tried that. I mean, either farm it up or don't. But if you're going to fight, if you're going to fight at this stage of the game, why not 5-man? That's where your advantage is.
Yeah, they still need level 6. Surprised that they're trying to make a push without Rasta with wards and without their mech bearer. So questionable plays coming out from VP. They were playing very well in the first 8 minutes of the game, 9 minutes maybe, and then after that they just kind of just made some very bad judgment calls. Blow Your Brain's like, I'm just gonna passively farm even when they have all these heroes that can kill me over and over. Rise smoked out looking for somebody. He does have grip up, but there are 4 heroes top for VP. And finally level 6 comes out on AA and level 6 on NS. So now they're in fighting shape.
Rise still under cover of smoke, going to loop back around. Let's see if they want to defend this. The creeps are going to be able to do some more damage. And 4 there from VP, as you mentioned. Here we go. God, under cover of Shadow Blade, going to run up and catch Unicorn, and going to be blown up. Wall goes down. Shackle, locked down, Light of Heaven. Can they react? All the no power shots off the mark, but they're going to catch NS with a Fiend's Grip. Crit eating a lot of damage off of these wards. Nice vacuum right on top of him into the Ether Shock. Virtus Pro putting it together that time around as we knew they could and knew they would. And that's where that big advantage is we were talking about. Big 5-man wipe, 5 for 2 the trade, and they're going to manage to find themselves a tower as the wards cut the creeps behind that tower. And just like that, Mouse, who looked like they had played their way back to even, gives up a big loss. They had cut VP's lead down more than half, now just about back to where it was.
Big plays from Light of Heaven as well as AA on the Rasta, and Doom was wasted on the Vengeful Spirit, or Grip was wasted on the Vengeful Spirit, I believe, and they actually didn't have a ward up here. If they have a ward up here, they could take the fight. They would have known that was coming, but just slight lapse in judgment by not having wards on either side. First VP not having wards for Moonlight Shadow, even though Mirana was 6 for a while, and Mouse not having that for that T2 defense, and that really cost. That was a 4-on-5 fight too, and they only lost 2 heroes, 5 for 2 in a 4-on-5. That is absolutely unacceptable.
Taking a look at how things are going across the board as 15 minutes approaches. 4-1, very strong performance coming out of God's Dragon Knight. 3-1 for AA. We saw him so very active in mid on this Shadow Shaman. 2-0 on Light of Heaven. Definitely back where he belongs on the Dark Seer in the offlane doing what he does. They are getting some mileage out of Clockwork on the side of Mouse. He's 2-1. 2-2 for Bane, and then the grab bag after that. Really the struggles are on Blow Your Brain and Synderen. Synderen at 1 and 4, and Blow Your Brain not nearly
0-4-0.
Yep, but you know what? He's got drums minus phase up at 15. That's still not that bad.
Yeah, it's not awful. He was just free for like the first 6 minutes. Hopefully they would have gotten more out of him, but at least he like created space for other people. Gods didn't get, or G didn't get ganked in the middle, so he has a Shadow Blade, and Darkseer didn't get ganked at all either, so he has Midas and Blink Dagger. Or not Midas, Mech and Blink Dagger.
Yep. Light of Heaven showing off the blink right there, and we can see them pinging out. Looks like they want to go ahead and try to take bottom, and why wouldn't you? Basically, this is going to be one of those situations where, because of the Rasta in particular, you have to come defend every tower. If you decide to just trade, Rasta will hold on to his wards and push through the tier 2, and if he beats you into position as they siege a tower and gets the wards down first at this level, it's so hard to deal with. We're going to have crit caught out. There's a shackle on the God, but Blow Your Brain there with the open wounds. Follow up with the magic missile. They're trying to react in. The Doom did go off on Blow Your Brain, but now...
with your TP. Oh, he TP'd right behind when his team wasn't there.
Yep. Everyone else came into the tier 2. Ace coming in on the front, and they can't do this. There's only 3 still standing for them. And the wall is just going to be run through. That's a little bit of extra damage they certainly didn't need to take. They're going to try to pursue out Rise. He's going to be spotted as God. Goes looking for a Dragon Tail. Gets off an auto attack, and there it is. Breathe Fire there, and in the meantime, they clean up Synderen behind the fight. That's 4 down. And the wards did go down for AA, so the push not as easy as perhaps it could be, but with level 2 Elder Dragon form on God, Light of Heaven with the mech ready in 4 seconds. This is going to be another couple of towers gone in the blink of an eye.
Mouse needs to get the jump on VP, not the other way around. If they pick off Doom that early and Doom panic cast Doom on Lifestealer, they're going to win the fight like that. They need to be able to get a Doom on either G or pretty much anybody on their team besides the Vengeful Spirit, and then just immediately initiate after there with a hook shot, with a grip, with a nice shackle, just something like that. Also, they probably could have done another Moonlight Shadow initiate, but very smart play from G from coming from behind, though. They totally did not see that coming, and Lifestealer got surged in and was immediately able to pick off Doom. So nice play from G there to set up that T1 and T2 push for that matter.
Love this. The smoke, Light of Heaven, moving towards mid. Well, throughout the Ion Shell, and we're going to have him catch out Ace again. Sacred Arrow will connect on G. That might be enough. Blow, trying to pursue him out, won't catch him. There's going to be a Fiend's Grip on the AA swap onto the Bane, though, and the nice vacuum to follow it up. Do they have the damage? Cogs go down. Rise eats the magic missile. Already used his grip, though. God doing good AoE. Nice shackle will catch him and Light of Heaven both. That's going to be the death of the Dragon Knight. In the meantime, though, Blow continuing to do work despite being doomed. So a 2-for-2 exchange so far. Light of Heaven used his mech in the fight. We'll have it back up.
They have to watch Shackle.
In 30 seconds, and Blow actually will survive this. Now we're going to have the magic missile onto Synderen. Shackle won't latch. Light of Heaven trying to pursue him out. Going to be cogged in by Ace. Ace no better off than Synderen is in this situation, though. Nicely placed Sacred Arrow secures the kill, and NS might want to run into the Roche pit. Nope. Auto attack uphill will be a killing spree for Unicorn. So not a bad trade. Mouse continuing to show some signs of life. Blow did make it away, though, and has been farming mid throughout the entire time. So even though they lose a couple of heroes on the back of it, still a pretty big win going their way to the tune of a 10,000 gold lead as the dust settles. The experience hanging around about 6K now.
Yeah, they have that very small window when like they have their ultimates up and VP doesn't, because they casted theirs a little bit earlier in the bottom fight, and they totally took advantage of that. Rasa did not have massive rewards. Darkseer had wall maybe like 70% of the way into the fight too, and they were able to win a fight without ultimates. But I'm scared what's going to happen when VP actually gets everything off in the fight. Gold lead around 10,000. Synderen still working on that 4-staff. They need a mech for themselves too. It looks like Doom is going in. He will have it in just about 300 gold though.
Taking a look at the net worth. Actually make that 4 of the top 5 in terms of net worth, all belonging at this point to Virtus Pro. And Mousesports just beginning to fall behind. I mean, it's not insurmountable yet, but to be behind 5 digits at 20 minutes in, you basically can't afford to lose another fight. And another lost fight, especially as the respawn timers get longer and longer, it's going to require either buybacks to put you further behind or to give up a Roshan. And that's kind of going to be the name of the game. And we talked extensively about him, Merlini. We knew that, like you said, that when the fights go right for Mouse is when they get the jump on the enemy, not vice versa. They just have that kind of a team. If they're not going to be surgical and not going to be splitting up Virtus Pro and derailing their 5-man just by putting pressure on other parts of the map, then they have to be getting the initiation advantage and turning these fights into 4-on-5s right off the bat. And when they don't, they get run over. When they can do that, they can hang even with the deficit they currently face. Tier 2 mid, already down to about a quarter health. Shackle won't latch. Synderen shows his face, going to eat the Dragon Tail, and Blow going to go ahead and rage to make sure the tower drops. Here comes Crit. Crit Gets the Doom off on the blow. Wards go down. There's a clock hook in, and the Hex to immediately disjoint it. Mirana trying to run. Nice vacuum. Caught 2 into the wall. Light of Heaven and AA all both grouped up still from the cogs. Ace trying to make a run for it. In the meantime, Dragon Knight still up and fighting quite well. And Magic Missile from downtown adds another kill to NS's total. Sacred Arrow actually just zings by NS's ear there. Another exchange going the way of VP. They lost the Life Stealer, but the last outer tier tower did drop, and Dragon Knight still with time left on the Elder Dragon form. Going to run right in. Crick might be saved by that Force Staff and will. Synderen throws the shackle, will latch off a creep, and that might be enough to save the tier 3 at least temporarily.
But not without G just firing one more auto attack at that tower.
Got to, man.
Yeah. Light of Heaven's just playing very well in Darkseer, though. His vacuums and walls are very, very good, and he has the mech too. I mean, mech is just mech, but his positioning in these fights are pretty good. He rarely gets caught by Doom because of the Blink Dagger. He rarely gets caught by Hook too, and puts his team in a very compromising position. He's always there for the counter initiate after the Doom. Almost exclusively goes on Lifestealer. I think, to be honest, he just needs a Linken's because you can't get Doomed or Grip through Rage, and it would be a very good item for him.
Looks like they were trying to catch Light of Heaven, not going to be so fortunate. Following the latest engagement, 12,000 gold now the deficit, 75 on the experience. Doom has picked up a mech of his own, but I mean, when you just look at the way these inventories are filling out for Virtus Pro, you can see the problem. Now, Magic Community up on God. I don't know that they can survive another fight. I mean, being able to bring down God or at least scare him away with a little bit of damage has been the only real saving grace they've had in terms of derailing the push potential Virtus Pro has. He's got max levels in Dragon Blood, no surprises. He is level 13. So he's at 19 armor and now has a BKB. That's pretty rough to deal with at 22 minutes in.
Yeah, they simply don't have the damage. I don't really know who they expected to do the damage. I mean, Mirana kind of can, but she's still very, very squishy. If she gets hexed or even caught in a vacuum wall or just Dragon Tail, she's going to die. And she's forced to go like some survivability items. Looks like she has Phase and Yasha and Ogre Club. 3-1-5. It's not a bad score by any means, but yeah, and he's third on the last hit chart, but it's just not enough. Like, they need some significant physical damage if they want to bring these heroes down. Like, even Lifestealer, when he's Rage and Doomed, he's still not that easy to take out.
Talking about Light of Heaven's influence on this game, he's played really well in 2 consecutive Darkseer games. 13, he's been involved in 13 of the 18 kills VP has totaled. So he's been involved in more kills, or the same number of kills, than Mouse has put together across the board. I mean, he has just always been where he needed to be. And especially as the mech carrier. And that's the thing. The funny thing is we actually saw some fights break out where we were kind of griping that he wasn't involved in them because he did have the early mech up. But at this point, I mean, it seems like Virtus Pro could just begin to starve out Mousesports. No map control. Roshan there for the taking if they do get any pick of any sort. And God's certainly looking to make that happen. He's got an Invis rune on him and might end up rushing into the secret shop area. NS will end up being bait. And there's the swap. Saw it coming. Mirana immediately pops the Moonlight Shadow. Doesn't matter. Ace is going to drop. Shackle will lock down AA and Light of Heaven. Will they initiate off of it? Ace will go ahead and force Staff out. But the damage just too high. And this may well be the beginning of the end. As we see Virtus Pro ready to go.
They were sitting right on top of a ward, too. They need sentry wards of their own just to make sure they're not walking into a trap.
Roster wards go down. And buyback on Synderen only on the side of Mousesports. So it's going to be 20 seconds till clock's back up. Tier 3 down at 24 minutes. And now going to work immediately on these racks. Sacred Arrow will connect on God at point-blank range. He's got a BKB if he wants or needs it. There's going to be a vacuum bringing them together. No follow-up on it, though. We see Light of Heaven takes on a passenger.
Blink in.
Yep, does have the blink.
They might turn this around.
And here we go. Crit. Caught out. Infest is out of there. And nice shackles from the high ground onto Rise on the high ground, I should say. Unicorn going to try to leap away. Caught with the Dragon Tail. Rise makes it away with about half health. Yeah. And Ace comes in looking for a little bit of revenge, but there's the immediate Hex. Nice swap onto Rise. That'll secure that kill. Synderen should be able to scurry away to the well, but he's going to be the last one remaining up. And this should be either another set of racks or a Roshan. Looks like they're going to go straight for the other set of racks. God will have his Elder Dragon form back up in 38 seconds. The BKB back off cooldown in 45. Mousesports pretty much done at this point.
I think that AA played really well this game. He's probably my MVP, actually, instead of Light of Heaven, just because he secured the mid lane for G, and he's also managed to farm up a Scepter, and he has managed to like avoid hook shots and other stuff for the most part, or at least if he does get hit by something, he gets his wards off as well as his Hex in time, which is pretty much all you need from a Rasta. So I think that he played extremely well and really gave them the early boost that they needed to have this big of an advantage.
Just look how much it took for them to kill just NS there. That's a 5-position Vengeful Spirit. It took just about everything they had to be able to track her down. Anyway, God has added a Reaver to his inventory. He's at 2,000 HP. No GG from Mouse yet. Looks like they want to go ahead and play this out. But pretty much a foregone conclusion. Hey, nice hook from Ace. Best one he's hit all game, really. God, BKBs will be able to avoid the Sacred Arrow and TP home, though.
And they're going to do Roshan right now. It's a slight saving point for them, but I think that VP may sense that something's up because their damage is just so abysmally low. They do have a Vlad actually on Doom, so that definitely helps them, but it's at half health. Are they going to be able to scout it out in time? I don't think so, actually.
Mousesports trying to...
with a blink wall.
Trying to take what they can get. And looks like an Aegis is going to be what they can get. Down it goes. And they immediately pop the Moonlight Shadow. Oh, nice vacuum. Wall went down as well, and they're going to re-engage. Ace dead. Immediate kills all across the board. There's the Aegis gone in the blink of an eye. Yep, GG. Crit calls it. And the Dragon Tail as Unicorn tries to bounce. GG's come out. Mousesports drops again right around 26, 27 minutes. A series that collectively took just a smidge over 50 minutes. And Virtus Pro improves to 2-0 in our standings, my friend. And you know that they've got to be feeling pretty good right now. They've already faced off against some of the toughest tests they're going to face here in the Western Division. And to be sitting at 500 with 3 series left, if they can win 2 of 3, and especially if they could somehow find a way to win out, they would, of course, have to upset Na'Vi to do that. But even if they just win 2 of their remaining 3 series, they're going to be in real good shape to make the playoffs. And when you make it into a bubble race playoff format like we're going to be featuring, anything can happen.
It's been, I mean, VP really stepped it up, though. Boiler Brain just, I mean, he didn't play well the second game, but he definitely carried them the first game. I mean, it's not like he played badly. He had an Abyssal at the end. So they actually really have a lot of potential, and it's starting to come through. They're starting to find their stride. Light of Heaven actually playing well and having a big contribution just really lends to this team. The supports are just moving around amazingly.
Couldn't agree with you more. AA's play early on, and just think he might have been involved in another kill early on if it wasn't for NS unfortunately walking up in the tower range and auto-attacking a tower. But his play just really good across the board. He was involved in 19 of 27 kills. So just as active as anyone on the board. Dragon Knight in 21 of those 27. So pretty big day for him. And 21 for Darkseer as well. But that, you know, reflects what we knew going in. You looked at this lineup and said they're going to 5-man. And we said during the draft that Mouse was just going to have to derail that by playing a much more surgical style, being able to just spread the map and not allow them to comfortably put together a 5-man push. But that wasn't accomplished, and Virtus Pro walks away 2-0 winners. 26 minutes, 55 seconds, the official game time. 27-14, the final kill score. Thanks so much for being a part of the broadcast, guys. I'm your host, Aaron E.C. Chambers, getting ready to do the sign-offs. Once again, I was joined by Ben Merlini-Wu. We'll be back tomorrow for more D2L Western action, and another day of D2L West after that. That'll be, no, check that. We just got tomorrow, Saturday, of course, and then Sunday we'll have West and East together, and we'll be finishing up on Sunday and Monday night, our Eastern schedule. So a lot of fun stuff to look forward to over the next 72 to 96 hours. And before we go, Ben, of course, we've got your, yep, gotta get right this time. Yes, I did. There's Ben's Twitter. Go ahead and drop the deets on the rest of the stuff they can find about you, my friend. Certainly a lot of folks in the audience, I'm sure, would love to learn from your insight.
Sure. You can find instructional videos at youtube.com/MerliniDota. You can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook at MerliniDota for updates. And last but not least, my personal streams at twitch.tv/MerliniDota.
There you go. Check him out at MerliniDota on Twitter and on YouTube as well. Brand new video out today if you like thunderbolts and getting kills on people who maybe are scurrying back to the well with no HP. The hero he featured today, certainly one you want to watch at Zeus. I know it's doing well on Reddit and a few other places, so definitely check him out. And hope to have you back. Well, not hope to have you back. No, we'll have you back, Ben. Looking forward to our matches coming up tomorrow. Any final thoughts on your way out the door?
forward to more of our matches tomorrow. Be sure you tune in, guys. I'm not exactly sure who is playing, but I'm sure you guys have the schedule somewhere.
Yeah,
starting
exactly.
at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
There you go. D2L.gg, by the way, is where you can find that schedule. Special thanks to Ben, of course, our producer Conrad. Again, Virtus Pro walks away winners here, 2-0 over Mouse. Our earlier match was EG versus Team Liquid, and TL managing to blank EG there as well. This has been a D2L production in conjunction with Razer, Monster Energy, and Astro, and of course Kingston HyperX, our lead sponsor, and the guys who are making it happen in Vegas coming up in January. So make sure you tune back in tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. On behalf of all of us at the D2L, enjoy your evening and enjoy some Dota.